Prime Minister to inaugurate the India Energy Week 2023 in Bengaluru, Karnataka. India Energy Week aims to showcase India's rising prowess as an energy transition powerhouse. Prime Minister to also dedicate to the nation a helicopter factory of HAL in Tumkuru. Various meetings under India's G20 presidency continue across the country. Second day of the first Energy Transitions Working Group in Bengaluru today, while Assam to host the first Youth 20 or Y20 Inception Meeting 2023 from today. Turkey condemns temporary closure of Western consulates in Istanbul, warns of action if closures continue. President Erdogan says necessary decisions would be taken during today's cabinet meeting without elaborating. Ukraine to replace defense minister after corruption scandals in wartime reshuffle. Chief of its military spy agency, Kirailo Budanov, to head the defense ministry ahead of an expected Russian offensive. After US shoots down a suspected Chinese spy balloon, China warns of necessary response. Washington calls balloon a clear violation of US sovereignty, but China insists it was a weather balloon blown off course. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken postpones his trip to Beijing. Firefighters battle dozens of raging wildfires in Chile, seek to gain control of one of the country's worst natural disasters in years. Death toll rises to at least 24 with nearly 1,000 more injured. And in sports, India's Aditi Ashok wins Kenya Ladies Open, turns in one of the most dominating performances on the Ladies European Tour with a 9-shot win. It was a 4th win on the Ladies European Tour for Aditi Ashok. Good morning. You're watching DD India. I'm Tanvi Taneja. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the India Energy Week 2023 today during his visit to Bengaluru in Karnataka. The Prime Minister will also participate in a roundtable interaction with global oil and gas CEOs. More in our next report.
Narendra Modi will inaugurate the India Energy Week on 6th of February. It will showcase India's rising prowess as an energy transition powerhouse. Let's try to understand India's energy needs vis-a-vis the changing global security scenario and its momentous shift towards carbon net neutrality, and find out how India can become a major force in the global energy economy. Key energy initiatives will be unveiled during India Energy Week, which will be held in Bengaluru from February 6th to 8th. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the mega G20 event, which will witness the record participation of more than 600 exhibitors from across the globe, with more than 34 ministers and a number of CEOs from top energy companies.
We have huge participation from all over the world. More than 50 countries will be participating. A lot of initiatives like A20 fuel will be, blended fuel will be launched tomorrow by the Prime Minister. And also, as you can see, all our oil sector companies are all here in big strength. ONGC and BPCL, HPCL, IOCL, they're all here in big strength, and the level of participation is fantastic and fabulous.
The ethanol blending program has been a key focus areas of the government to achieve Atmanirbhar Bharat in the field of energy. Due to the sustained efforts of the government, ethanol production capacity has seen a 6-time increase since 2013-14. It also resulted in a host of other benefits, including reduction of 318 lakh metric tons of CO2 emissions and a foreign exchange saving of around 54,000 crore. As a result, there has been a payment of rupees 81,800 crore towards ethanol supplies, during 2014 to 2022 and a transfer of more than 49,000 crore to farmers. In line with the ethanol blending roadmap, Prime Minister will launch E2 fuel at 84 retail outlets of oil marketing companies in 11 states and union territories. E20 is a blend of 20% ethanol with petrol. The government aims to achieve a complete 20% blending of ethanol by 2025.
While my father was going traditional method, we getting a payment of harvested after 2 to 3 months. After 2014, initial blending was started in the sugar factories. Now we are getting a payment within 7 days of the harvesting, so that we can plan for the future croppings and also our education loans. Everything can be covered in this amount.
Prime Minister will also flag off the Green Mobility Rally. The rally will witness participation of vehicles running on green energy sources and will help create public awareness for the green fuels. Prime Minister will also launch uniforms under Unbottle initiative of Indian Oil. Guided by the vision of Prime Minister to phase out single-use plastic, Indian Oil has adopted uniforms for retail customer attendants and LPG delivery personnel made from recycled polyester and cotton. Each set of uniform of Indian Oil customer attendants shall support recycling of around 28 used PET bottles. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also dedicate twin cooktop model of Indian Oil's indoor solar cooking system and flag off its commercial rollout. It is a revolutionary indoor solar cooking solution that works on both solar and auxiliary energy sources simultaneously, making it a reliable cooking solution for India. The inaugural India Energy Week comes at a critical time with the challenges of energy security and environmental sustainability impacting the long-term energy transition and path towards decarbonization. It will provide a unique opportunity to showcase India as both an engine of global economic growth and a driver for global consumption, supported by a conducive and investment-friendly environment and a skilled workforce. With camera person Mohit Joshi, this is Tapush Bhattacharya from inaugural edition of the India Energy Week in Bengaluru.
India Energy Week holds special emphasis for green energy transition. India has achieved the target of 10% ethanol blending, which is 5 months ahead of schedule. Indigenous products hold key for India to achieve its target of net zero emission. This is what N. Damodaran, GM Biofuels said. Take a look.
Blending is the new wonder energy that have been talked about, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be coming on Monday to inaugurate in more than in 11 states and union territories the ethanol blending of more than 20%. And to talk about that, I have with me the General Manager of HP Petroleum Biofuels Division, who is here. Sir, tell us how important is biofuel, especially for the farmers and for the exchequer also.
So first of all, I thank to our Government of India under the leadership of a very transformational leader of Honorable Prime Minister. So today, that OMC we are doing, last year 2022 we have done the 10% and above. This year we have got the target as per the roadmap 12%. We already started this 12%, many of the places in the country, and we have to complete before October 31st 12% of ethanol blending across the country by OMC like HPCL, BPCL and IOCL. And tomorrow, our Honorable Prime Minister is visiting our Bangalore International this exhibition center to launch it, to inaugurating the 20% across the country as a pilot. There are 16 cities in 11 states of 84 outlets of HPCL, BPCL, IOCL. So 2024-25, before October 30th, we have to achieve the 20% across the country by entire OMC. That is our roadmap, which we are doing. So for that, we are getting very good support from the distilleries. This year, our total target for getting the blending of 12% is 600 crores liters of ethanol. In 2024-25, we require 1016 crores of liters for achieving this 20%. For that, we have made already all the development program, and many of the distilleries are coming, because we are having around 2,289 sugarcane based distilleries we are having getting the supplies of ethanol. Apart from that, around 130 dedicated ethanol plants are coming up for giving the whatever the shortfall supplies to meeting the 1016 crores in 2024-25. This is our roadmap as per our Honorable Prime Minister and the Government of India target, which we will be achieving. That is what our total motto.
You are 100% sure that this can be achieved, and we are also talking about net neutrality, neutral emission by 2070. You think that that also will be achieved the way things are going currently?
Yes, absolutely, sir. See, what for this ethanol blending? This, you may be knowing that total every day we are getting all the details in the media as well as that lot of coverage. It's very simple because indigenous product. That means we are depending upon the abroad for crude import, which will be stopped slowly, gradually, and we have our own production of ethanol, which will be mixing with petrol for emission control. Total pollution free we wanted to. Third one, very important, that employment opportunities are more. Directly, indirectly, maximum and also farmers will be getting maximum amount.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to inaugurate 20% of a blending of ethanol, and that is expected to be a major game changer, not just for the country, but also it will showcase India as a major force in becoming net neutral in emission by 2070. With camera person Mohit Joshi, this is Taposh Bhattacharya for GD India from Bangalore.
The largest helicopter factory of India is ready at Tumkuru in Karnataka. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will dedicate this to the nation on Monday. HAL or Hindustan Aeronautics Limited plans to build 1,000 helicopters over the next 20 years. Built at a cost of 450 crore rupees, the factory will generate 6,000 jobs directly in the Tumkuru region.
This pick and span helicopter making facility spread over an area of over 600 acres will be operationalized on Monday at the hands of Prime Minister Modi. This facility, India's largest by the way, is about 120 kilometers from Bangalore in the state of Karnataka in this place called Tumkuru. HAL or Hindustan Aeronautics Limited intends to manufacture initially the light utility helicopter or the LUH here. The LUH, whose design has already been tested and proven, is a 3-ton single-engine helicopter which can be employed in various roles, and it's highly maneuverable. So the HAL plans to manufacture 30 light utility helicopters at this facility in Tumkuru every year, but will scale it up to 60 a year, and then in the third phase at the peak capacity of 90 choppers a year. Apart from the LUH, the facility will then diversify into other helicopters also. So the Hindustan Aeronautics Limited has very ambitious plans. They intend to produce or manufacture about 1,000 helicopters over the next 20 years and generate a business of rupees 4 lakh crores. So that will not only satisfy India's military needs, but also India's civilian needs and export potential also. Apart from making India Atmanirbhar or self-reliant, this facility, which is India's largest, will also realize Prime Minister Modi's mantra of Make in India, Make for the World. With camera person P. Senthil Kumar in Tumkuru in Karnataka, this is Nandita Dagar for DD News.
The first G20 Energy Transition Working Group meeting under India's presidency is underway in Bengaluru. Today is the second day of the 3-day meeting, which has over 150 participants. Besides the G20 member countries, there are 9 special invitees for this meeting. They are from Bangladesh, Egypt, Mauritius, the Netherlands, Nigeria, Oman, Singapore, the UAE and Spain.
First G20 Energy Transition Working Group meeting under India's presidency has kicked off in Bengaluru. The day 1 of the 3-day meeting of the working group deliberated on technology gaps in high priority and critical technologies, including electrolysis, fuel cells, CCUS, battery storage and SRMs. In the keynote address, Union Minister for Power and New and Renewable Energy R.K. Singh said that the low carbon development strategy 2030 will come from non-fossil fuels.
We are adhering to a low carbon growth, and we will continue to do that because we are fully committed to a low carbon growth. We believe in the wildfire. As I said, 177 gigawatts of renewable energy capacity which we have installed. I have another 75 gigawatts under installation, 75,000 megawatts under installation. That makes it about 250,000 megawatts. We aim to have a renewable energy capacity, a non-fossil fuel capacity of 500 gigawatts by 2030, 500.
R.K. Singh called upon the G20 member countries to join together in countering the challenges posed by global warming and climate change. While Minister for Parliamentary Affairs, Coal and Mines Prahlad Joshi underlined the need for international collaboration to achieve universal access to clean energy.
India believes in the philosophy Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, one earth, one family, one future, and it shapes India's vision for the sustainable planet. India has a long history and tradition of harmonious coexistence between human and nature. Human beings here have worshipped the various forms of the nature since the ages and regarded fauna and flora as part of their family. This is the part of our heritage and manifest in our lifestyle and traditional practices. We represent a culture that calls our planet a Mother Earth.
Delegates discussed low-cost financing for critical clean energy technologies, including offshore winds, green hydrogen, battery energy storage, and CCUS.
First of all, thank you very much for organizing such a great conference as the first EWG conference. And we feel very honored to have make a presentation about the RD20, one of the international collaboration conference.
Well, we definitely appreciate the warm hospitality of our Indian friends. It's my first visit to India. Okay. I'm really happy to take a chance to look at the city and the people. And the expectations are that the G20 is in its origin the format for bringing cooperation, for hosting cooperation among the major world economies and countries. And therefore, with all the differences, yes, we're looking forward to some positive results, especially as we're discussing the global challenges which we can't but solve only together.
It's an amazing experience. We thank the government and the people of India for the warm welcome and the great hospitality. It's of course it's not unusual for the Indian people to be so friendly, and we special thanks to the Indian government to extend an invitation to Egypt to be a guest country for G20 meetings and summits this year. We appreciate this.
More than 150 participants, including G20 countries and 9 special invitee guest countries, are participating in the 3-day event, along with the World Bank, Asian Development Bank, United Nations Environment Programme, and many other international organizations. With inputs from Masha Khanam, Bureau Report, DD India.
Under India's G20 presidency, Guwahati will host the first Youth 20 or Y20 Inception Meeting 2023 from today. The 3-day meeting will provide an opportunity to the students to voice up their opinions for the audience worldwide. Union Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports, Anurag Singh Thakur, will hold a youth dialogue with the Y20 delegates, followed by the launch of white paper on various themes. Chief Minister of Assam, Himanta Biswa Sarma, will also present research papers from students and academicians of Assam. In addition to this, technical sessions and deliberations will be hosted at IIT Guwahati. Y20 works with an aim to provide the youth a platform to raise their concerns on contemporary issues. The Guwahati Y20 meeting from today will lay the groundwork for programs of the Y20 during India's G20 presidency. Started in 2012, the Y20 is the youth version of the G20 summit, and it is the only officially recognized platform for young people to engage with the G20, as it is one of the most influential international diplomatic forums for the leaders. It is also one of the 8 official engagement groups under the G20 umbrella. On to international updates now. Days after some European countries and the United States announced temporary closures of their consulates citing terror threats in Turkey, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan over the weekend said that Western missions would pay for issuing security warnings and shutting diplomatic missions. The decision to shut consulates came in the wake of protests against the recent public burnings of the Quran in Sweden, the Netherlands and Denmark by far-right groups. Ankara summoned the ambassadors of 9 countries last week to criticize their decisions to temporarily shut diplomatic missions and issue security alerts. Turkish officials said that Western nations, including the United States and Germany, had not shared information to back up their claims of a security threat. On the other hand, police said that there was no serious threat to foreigners after detaining 15 Islamic State suspects.
Ministry had summoned all of the ambassadors and gave them an ultimatum by saying if you continue things like closure of consulates, you will pay a very heavy price for that. And we are holding our cabinet meeting on Monday, and I think we will take necessary decisions about this issue in the meeting.
The Russia-Ukraine war continues unabated. The first anniversary of the Russia-Ukraine war also approaches. The fighting between the two countries began last year on 24th of February when Russia launched its offensive against Ukraine. Underlining the ground situation, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said fierce battles between the forces of the two countries are raging on in eastern Ukraine's Donetsk region. Zelensky also asserted that Russia was applying increased pressure to make up for its defeats last year. Zelensky also spoke about Ukraine's lobbying for a ban of Russian athletes from the Olympics.
Separately on the war front, there are already many reports that the invaders want to do something symbolic in February to try to get revenge for the last year's defeat. We observe this increased pressure in various frontline areas as well as the pressure in the information space. It is very tough in the Donetsk region. There are fierce battles. However, no matter how difficult it is and no matter how strong the pressure is, we have to endure. We have to use every day and every week to reinforce our defense at the front, to consolidate our international position, to increase pressure on Russia. We have to give our people new opportunities to survive this difficult time. We have no other alternative but to defend ourselves and to win. We are continuing our diplomatic marathon to prevent the Kremlin from using world sports and the Olympic movement for its propaganda. Representatives of a terror state should have no place at the Olympics and international tournaments. Ukraine has sent relevant letters to the companies that support the International Olympic Committee the most. These are large international companies that are definitely interested in ensuring that their reputation and support are not used to propagate war.
In a reshuffle at the forefront of Ukraine's war campaign, a close ally of President Volodymyr Zelensky said that Ukraine is set to replace Defense Minister Oleksiy Reznikov with the chief of its military spy agency. Reznikov would be transferred to another ministerial job and replaced by the head of the GUR military intelligence agency, Kirilo Budanov. David Arakhamia, a senior lawmaker, said that Ukraine's force agencies, like the defense ministry, should not be headed by politicians but by career defense or security officials. Arakhamia did not say when the move would be formalized. There was no immediate comment from Reznikov. 56-year-old Reznikov became defense minister in November 2021, just a few months before Russia launched its full-scale offensive against Ukraine. The outgoing defense minister over the weekend said that Ukraine expects a possible major Russian offensive this month, but Kiev has the reserves to hold back Moscow's forces. The Biden administration has lauded the Pentagon for shooting down an alleged Chinese spy balloon off the U.S. Atlantic coast on the 4th of February. China has angrily voiced its strong dissatisfaction at the move and said that it has the right to take necessary responses. The large air balloon spent several days flying over North America before it was targeted off the coast of South Carolina with a missile fired from an F-22 plane. It fell into relatively shallow water, just 14 meters deep, and the debris was being retrieved. Firefighters battled dozens of raging wildfires in Chile on Sunday, seeking to gain control of the country's worst natural disasters in years, as the death toll rose to at least 24, with nearly 1,000 more injured. And in sports, Aditi Ashok turned in one of the most dominating performances on the Ladies European Tour with a 9-shot win at the magical Kenya Ladies Open on Sunday. It was the 4th win on the Ladies European Tour for the Indian. Aditi, who will turn 25 next month, also ended a long drought as she lost one in Abu Dhabi in November 2017. So with that, it's a wrap in this bulletin. We'll be back with breakfast news at 8. Do join us then. Namaskar.